Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Behind the Struggle podcast. I'm your host, doing the most, your boy CEO. Let's keep it real, let's keep it dope. And without further ado, I am joined by the one and only, as always.
I thought that was going to rhyme too. Boo. Just kidding.
Sorry to disappoint.
It's your girl, Alexia. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for pressing that play button and tuning in with us. I think we have an interesting topic of conversation today.
Yeah, today's gonna be a hot take. If anyone that's like really going on, like paying attention to what's going on in the musical landscape lately, or if you're a fan of hip hop, the culture in general, I mean, if you clicked on this podcast, you kind of already have a gist of what's going on. So I'm gonna recap it though for those who don't know. Today we're doing a hot take because J.Cole just had his Dreamville festival last night. I'm not sure if it just started or if that was the first night of the tour, but he just dropped his album, Might Delete Later, this past Friday. And he has that song on there, 7 Minute Drill, where he responds to Kendrick Lamar's verse on the Metro Boomin and Future track Like That. And, everyone went crazy. You can go over on YouTube. You can look at the internet. Everyone's reacting and said, Kendrick, the ball was in your court. It's time for you to go. And people were hyped up. I'm not going to front. I was one of them. I was one of those people that was excited. I'm an MC, and I love the competitive part of it. So, last night at J. Cole's Dreamville Fest, he actually made a public apology to Kendrick Lamar on stage in front of all his fans. So this is what happened literally last night after everybody was hyped up and looking forward to a lyrical rap battle between J. Cole and Kendrick since him dropping the song on Friday, and Kendrick, his diss track, this verse where he threw a couple strays at Cole a couple weeks before. So everybody was charged up, ready to go, wanted this man to perform this record live on stage. And, well, they were in for quite the surprise. So I'm going to play the clip for you guys that weren't there. I wasn't either. I saw this online. And this is what J. Cole had to say at Dreamville Fest.
This is not what a lot of people want to hear. I know I can hear my niggas up there right now like, nah, don't do that. But I got to keep it 100 with y'all, right? I damn near had a relapse, right? Because y'all heard some shit that happened 3 weeks ago, however long it was. Y'all heard that bazooka that was dropped on the motherfucking game, right? So all of this time of me moving on my own accord, for the first time I was tested. Why am I tested? Because I got the world and I got my niggas like, what you gonna do, Cole? My niggas like, boy, I must have had 1,000 missed calls. Oh my fucking God. Text flooded, I couldn't even answer my shit. Nigga, it's wartime, boom, 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 right? Niggas wanna see blood. And I was conflicted because, one, I know my heart, you know what I mean? And like, I know how I feel about just been blessed to even stand beside in this game, let alone chase their greatness, right? So I felt conflicted because I'm like, bro, I know I don't really feel no way, but the world want to see blood. I don't know if y'all can feel that, but the world want to see blood. So I say all of that to say, in my spirit of trying to like get this music out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I moved in a way that I feel spiritually feel bad on me. Like I try to like jab my nigga back and I try to keep it friendly, but at the end of the day, when I listen to it and when it comes out and I see the talk, that shit don't sit right with my spirit. That shit make me feel, that shit disrupts my fucking peace. So what I want to say right here tonight is, in the midst of me doing that and in that shit, trying to find a little angle and downplay this nigga's fucking catalog and his greatness, I want to say right now tonight, Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, publicly be like, bruh, that was the lamest, like, goofiest shit. And I say all that to say, it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God align me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that my nigga really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my nigga, I got my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm going to take that shit on the chin, boy. Do what you do. You know what I mean? Like,
That's crazy interesting, actually. And I like that he kept referencing like his spirit and like he wanted to get right with like God.
Agreed. We're actually going to divulge into that a little bit more. That's what I found the most interesting about it, to be honest. So
This whole thing is interesting to me because sorry to cut you off, but for those of you that like don't know this side of the rap game, like me, because Chris obviously is like educating me on it as well as whoever doesn't else know and the listeners. But I literally feel like this is the same as the eclipse. Like, you know, when you had like the eclipse glasses and like you put them on and you saw nothing, it literally to me looked like I was wearing a garbage bag over my head. And then only I guess if you stared at the sun, then you could see something. But like whatever. The point is like I'm in the dark with this, so this is all new to me. And like I don't want to be mean, but like it's kind of like I don't care. But that apology did pique my interest. And what I was thinking while he was talking was the song obviously already exists, so the song's already out. This apology, you'll only see it like let's say 10 years from now if you know about it and if you look it up. The song is going to stay. So I wonder if he's going to do like a song to do the same apology thing because it sort of like has a longer life than the public apology. But anyway, what happened after?
Oh, well, to answer that one point, well, not answer, but J. Cole is actually going to have the song 7 Minute Drill, which is the one he's responding to Kendrick back, removed from all streaming platforms. He's removing that song
Yeah,
off of
but
his album.
yeah, but you still can't delete it forever. You know what I mean? Like people will be saving it,
Oh,
taking
no.
screenshots, whatever.
Yeah,
Like
that definitely not, so, but, he's doing his part. At the end of the day, people have their reactions out there. They're going to do what they do with it, So, anyways.
that's true, and good for him. He only wasted 7 minutes of his life on that, so now it's not like he has to go all the way back. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And, well, it's interesting because after this apology came out, J. Cole has faced a lot of backlash now on social media. A lot of people
In what way?
are like disappointed with him because they're saying, Cole has been rapping at a top tier level for the past 4 years. He's been teasing his upcoming album, not the one that just came out, but the Fall Off. But people, he's been talking a lot of I'm the best rapper, I'm the best in the game, and now people are kind of saying we can't take that serious now. We have to take that with a grain of salt because you just got tested by one of your peers who's considered one of the best in the game too, and you backed out. And a lot of people are upset because hip-hop is a competitive sport, and people, battling is a part of it. And a lot of people just feel like as a hip-hop artist on his level, and he was talking the way he was talking, that he should stand by what he said. They were really disappointed. A lot of people upset about this. They say that this is going to hurt his career on some way, shape, or form because now people won't be able to take him as seriously as an MC.
What? I disagree. But wait. Mm-hmm. Was this backlash the reason he didn't feel right in his spirit, or was it literally his spirit that didn't feel right in his spirit?
Based on what he says, because the backlash happened after this apology. So what he was saying...
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, take that back.
Yeah. So what he was saying is that after he put the song out, he was feeling pressure from the world, from the fans, from his boys, like getting all these text messages kind of saying like, yo, what are you gonna do, Cole? Like it's wartime, and like people just want to see blood. And then he said,
yeah.
And then he said after he put the song out, he saw the reaction. He saw all the reactor videos, how people responded to the song, and he's kind of saying like he really didn't feel no way. He really has no animosity. It's almost like he was pressured into making the song to appease the world, to appease the fans, but really he don't really have a problem with Kendrick Lamar. Like, as far as I know, they're actually friends.
Yeah, but that's pushing sales for both of them. Like, right now, they're at the top of the discussion lists.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely, but Cole, I guess he feels like a different way because way back, you wouldn't know this, but for those who do know, J. Cole and Kendrick were supposed to do a collab album together, like, I think almost 8 years ago, whatever, and it...
Okay, and why didn't they?
Yeah, just for different reasons. I'm sure the legality of it, just the timing, and they're on different labels, so I'm sure a bunch of stuff got in the way of doing that. It's not like they're label mates under the same label. Like, they're two completely different labels. So they are cool and they have collaborated with their cans before on other projects. So it seems like everyone was fine. Like Kendrick and Cole have even done remixes to songs of each other, as like kind of like being playful and kind of just showing like a nod of respect to each other. So a lot of people are upset because of that. They're very disappointed. But I want to point out something that I'm actually find it very commendable what J. Cole did. Um, and maybe he didn't notice while he was saying this, but he kept using the words the pressure of his boys and the world, and they want to see blood, and that like people want to be entertained, and how he had to didn't like how it made him look because it made him feel like an older version of himself from 10 years ago, and he prays to God that he aligns himself like in his spirit to continue his path. And what I took from that is kind of like, God, I hope you put me on this path to greatness to achieve it in a different way where I don't have to tear somebody else down in order to bring myself up. But the other thing that it also reminded me of is this is from John 17 from the Bible. So I'm just going to quote a little bit of scripture for you guys. And basically it says this: I am coming to you now, but I say these things while I am still in the world, so that you may have a full measure of my joy within them. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them, for they are not of the world any more than I am of the world. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. They are not of the world, even as I am not of it. Sanctify them by the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world. For them I sanctify myself, that they too may be truly sanctified. And I know y'all probably like, what the hell does God do all biblical and religious? But I think what Cole's speaking to is on a higher level. And I kind of really have to commend him for this, because he didn't have to do that apology like that. Like, he did it publicly, and as you can see, the backlash that's coming at him, but he's walking in line with his spirit. He's talking about like the world, as he said, was pressuring him, wanted to see blood. But as you see in that scripture, Jesus is saying that like you are not of this world. And even when Jesus gave the word of God to the world, they hated it, because God is not of this world. He is of the spirit. And for me, spiritually, just the Christian side of me, taking hip-hop aside, I have to fully commend Cole for that, because I feel like that's a journey and a walk a lot of people are not ready for. I feel like a lot of us give us to the pressures of the world and what the world wants us to do, and we could appease the world and entertain it. And think about someone on that level. He's a multi-millionaire, considered one of the best rappers in the game, period. I'm sure the pressure is a level none of us could really conceive of the everyday person, of what is expected out of us. He owns his own record label, a bunch of stuff, right? And then
That's a good point, because how many of us, like regular, normal people, would do that now, having a lot less?
exactly, like, come on, you see it all the time on TikTok or these YouTube channels. People feel pressured. Oh, if you do this crazy thing, I'll give you $10,000 right now. And it may be something dumb, like, oh, let me go mess with this dude, for whatever. And it's like, that's the world pressuring you, and like you feel the need to entertain.
But also, I think it's commendable that he is in the rap game, and he's not only in the rap game, he's like top 3, which is a huge achievement. And like you said, it's very catered towards like not necessarily violence, but like this battle ideology. So like rap battles, and like always, you can't look or be perceived a certain way. Like you got to always be hard, pause. Wow. Rappers like always have to maintain a reputation. Otherwise, it's not, their reputation is almost as important as their talent in a sense. And that's been that way for a very long time.
Yes.
So not only is he like, he's still like top 3 for the generation, whatever. But for him to be like, okay, I did it, and like I kind of regret it, so I take it back. It's kind of like, not only what you said, not giving into temptation and steering away from that and all the pressures of the world and all the pressures of everyone else around him. But also, like I had mentioned before in another conversation, it's like that's how the healing process starts. we're going to each throw something at each other until one of us throws the bigger rock, right? But if, let's say like Kendrick threw the last rock, whatever, I'm nothing against Kendrick. J. Cole could throw a rock, or he could stop. Because if he stops and Kendrick's like, where's the next one? And he throws a second one, like a double text. Now Kendrick looks stupid in a sense, right? So like, there's that dynamic at play here where like, I mean, J. Cole already did it. So like now it's sort of like he took it back, but Kendrick can either, follow what all the pressures of the same temptations, the same evil, and cast the next stone, or he can follow J. Cole's lead and be like, you're right, we're friends. Why are we doing this? Like, because me beating you in a rap battle has nothing to do with, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's a better rapper? Because at the end of the day, I hope that they realize, like, there are so many people on this planet and everyone has different opinions. They were raised differently. They, have different backgrounds, have different lifestyles. So, like, they could very well be exactly equal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be like, just example, I don't know. You could be like, J. Cole is definitely better, but Kendrick's a close second. And I could be like, it's exactly that the other way around. So they could very well be exactly equal.
No, definitely. I mean, it's all a matter of perception. And to your point, as far as like giving into the pressures of the world, he could have done that in the other way too. He could have felt the pressure of the world to not make the apology and kind of keep these thoughts to himself and just continue to leave the song on streaming platforms and say nothing and just kind of like feel like that inwardly and feel this confliction, but then not say it outwardly because he don't want to disappoint the world.
Right. But again, that's the step for healing. You know what I'm saying? You can't hold this poison inside you. It's going to eat you alive if he did that. But then again, if he doesn't respond to Kendrick, even though it was only strays, the fans and all the rest of the world is going to be like, oh, you're going to let him do that? Oh, you're going to let him do that? And there's a lot more power. This is what the listeners need to fully understand. There's so much more power in forgiveness than revenge. It's disgusting. People are very quick because revenge is like almost instant. You know what I mean?
Feels
You're like,
good
oh,
in the moment.
Yeah, but like also immediately. Where forgiveness is definitely not like that. But you've healed yourself by doing that, and like years later, if that person still has that hatred in their heart, which most likely they do, karma or God or whatever you want to call it will always come back for them. Meanwhile, you're healed. So people don't want to wait though. That's this generation and like the next, very impatient and very like violent, negative. It's horrible. So, and I didn't know this story. So you telling me this, I'm like, that's crazy because J. Cole not only like recanted what he did, his actions matched his words when he took everything away, but he also gave the credit, to like God and his spirit. He didn't say it because, I don't know, he's not allowed to say Jesus. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't afraid to be like, this is why.
Yeah. Another thing I also want to point out, because you just reminded me of something, and I'm not saying this because Alexia is on the podcast, guys, because she's an Eminem fan, but this was the last thing I could actually kind of remember where a rap battle kind of got that bad. And I just want to...
When?
I'm going to bring it up. So I want to use this as an example because I don't think people realize that at the end of the day, these are people with real lives. And yes, we as fans, we want to be entertained. We want to see blood, but understand sometimes there's real repercussions to these things. Now, I'm not saying this was going to turn out that way, but we never know. Sometimes things get too hectic in the moment. Feelings and emotions rise and things get escalated. And I remember this with Eminem when he inherited the beef with 50 Cent and Ja Rule and Murder Inc. And then Eminem got involved, and Benzino hopped in on top of that, and it was Murder Inc. versus Interscope, and it went back and forth for years, right? To the point where they were saying racist comments to Eminem. And in the midst of all that stuff, Eminem's best friend, Proof, was killed. Now, I don't know if he was killed by anybody by Murder Inc., but I know it was during when tensions were high. And that's when Eminem kind of went big into the drugs, and he fell off, and he kind of fell back. And when he came back, he made a song addressing that, kind of like saying, like, like, I'm done. Like, I want to stop the beef. It's over. Like, I lost my best friend in the midst of all this. And they kind of put things in perspective. And so Eminem has already been there on the other side. So my point to bringing that up to you guys is also like, does it have to get that bad for us to be like, oh, okay, stop. Like, I don't want to be entertained anymore. Do these people's lives have to be affected in that way? I mean, we've seen it happen before with Biggie and Pac. It got so blown up, East Coast versus West. Two legends that everyone talks about who are dead in the midst of this beef because people got involved and the fans wanted to be entertained and wanted to see blood and they picked sides. So please understand, like, you may not agree with it as a hip-hop fan and you want to be entertained and you want to see the bars go back and forth, but understand these are real people and you don't know where things could go, how someone else might interpret it and feel some kind of ways because, oh, that's my man's and I gotta respond to it. Now things get escalated, things get violent, and now instead of being entertained, we're losing once-in-a-lifetime artists just because, what, we want to see a little bit of blood for 3.5 minutes? Wanted to see some shit talking on the song?
Yeah, and didn't Eminem release a whole song or maybe just a verse? Like, not so much apologizing, but like being like, I wish I didn't take it that far.
Yeah, like Toy Soldiers.
You said,
that was the song.
Toy Soldiers, yeah.
Yep. He did a whole music video about it, and he was just kind of like, man, this shit got too crazy, got too out of hand. And that's kind of what I say. You know, it's like, we've already seen that happen. I'm bringing that to, and once again, I'm not saying that Kendrick and Cole would have gone that way. Like, I'm sure it's just competition for them. You know, like me, when I was doing my battles, it wasn't personal. I wasn't like, oh, I really hate these motherfuckers. When I see them in life, I'm slapping them. Like, I was like, no, it's just competition. But at the same time, you don't know how people are going to take things. You know, like, I see the internet's very divided, and this is a good example right here. Some people are very disappointed in Cole. They're upset, they're let down, and there's another side of the internet that respects it. They're like, you know, I'm proud of him. You know, like, as a man, as a human being, I respect that. You know what?
And that obviously speaks to more than just emotional maturity. So it's kind of like J. Cole, like, what kind of fans do you want at the end of the day? Like, of course, the more the merrier, whatever, but you want people in your corner that are like you know, like, respect you and your decisions, and that, like, if they're in your circle, so to speak, they're walking with you and helping you actually get closer to God, not the group that's like, oh, I'm disappointed, you could have murdered him, you blah blah blah. Like, those people are obviously taking you farther away from God. So again, even though that revenge feels good and it feels good for 5 minutes, if you are alive for the next 10 years, in 10 years, how are you going to feel? How are you going to feel when the rapture actually does happen? Not the next eclipse, but when it happens for real and J. Cole's floating up and you're not. Like,
damn. Okay, jeez. Like, this took it there. I mean, but also, you guys have all seen those videos, right? Where we've seen, like, little kids hanging out and the group of kids around them are instigating the two kids to fight. They're not your friends. If they're instigating you to fight, they're not your friends. They're instigating it because they want to see a fight. They want to be entertained. It's the same thing going on with this where, you know, the fan bases are feeling split. We're like, oh, I want to see blood. I want to see a battle. I want to see a goal.
But that was my point. Like, if I was J. Cole, which obviously I can't even, I'm just saying, I would not mind losing those fans that are like, nah, you know, you're a pussy. You should have done this. Like, okay, bye. Like, but that's, again, in J. Cole's position, that's a lot easier to say than, like, no offense, like, yours, CEO. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we're not as big as J. Cole, obviously, at all. So, like, if there was, like, 10,000 people that were like, oh, Chris, you don't worship the devil, I can't follow you. Like, okay, bye. Like, thank you, bye.
Yeah.
But for J. Cole, if it's, like, not 10,000, it's, like, we're talking 10 million. I get it, but like you said, if you're right with your spirit, you know what I mean? Like, God will provide. Like, everything else will come. It's not like those 10,000 people were literally putting food on your table. Like, maybe, you know, in 3 times, 4 times around the corner way. Yeah, sure. But, like, he'll be fine.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, I just got to respect it that he's, you know, staying true to himself and deciding to continue to walk with God and make sure his spirit feels
That's where
aligned.
The real strength is.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he even said it. Like, you probably guys didn't hear it in the clip because I didn't have the whole thing, but he literally says that he lost 2 nights of sleep thinking about it. because once he kind of
Really?
because once he put that out into the world, he had to deal with it, and it was like it's out there.
Yes. Yo.
Like I said,
I don't want to compare myself to J. Cole again, but losing sleep is not a joke. You know what I mean? It's like a gift. It's not like obviously ours, like not afforded to us. It's not owed to us. Sleep is definitely a blessing, and even though we need it to like survive, like we could survive longer with no water than we could on no sleep. But that does not mean that we like not deserve it, but like that we get it. If you're losing sleep, we're suffering. You know what I mean? Like, and if you're staying up on purpose, something's wrong with you. Like, suffering. I'm telling you. So if he admitted that he lost sleep for 2 nights, like that's like a relatable, pain where it's like, oh wait, like this is for real, for real. Like he needs someone to talk to. He needs like support. Like losing sleep is not funny.
yeah, and at the same time, he mentioned this as well. On top of the sleep, like it was disturbing his peace. And for me, it's like once things start to disturb your peace and you can't have peace of mind, that's when you have to really start reevaluating
But
things.
that's exactly what the sleep deprivation was. Like, where you're suffering. If you can't sleep, you're suffering. If it's disturbing your peace, whether you're awake during the day or can't sleep at night, like that's true suffering.
Yeah, and it's like he's suffering to appease the fans because they want to be entertained, and it's like at the end of the day, that's not worth it because
Exactly. Like, what actually is he getting out of that? You know?
exactly. If anything, we are getting more out of it than he is. He is literally sacrificing himself to entertain us, and it's just like at the end of the day, when the records turn off and the lights and everything, and he got to see this person in real life, he got to deal with that. We're not going to be there. For us, it's a 3-minute song. We play it when we want to hear it. We make a YouTube video,
Exactly.
react. Oh, man, did you hear that line? And we go on with our lives. He got to live that, though.
Right.
So I respect it. I know a lot. Look, the competitive side of me, I understand the people who are upset of it. I would have liked to see it, too, as long as it was kept friendly, just because they kind of see the angle that they were going to go at one another. But you never know. Sometimes when people take a certain angle, things get personal. I mean, we saw it happen with Pusha T and Drake. They were kind of going back and forth, and then Drake made a response to him. He just said Pusha T's wife's name. He didn't even say a diss at her directly. He just said her name in the rap song. And then what did Pusha T do?
What'd he do?
He dropped the story of Adidon, and he exposed to the world that Drake had a kid and destroyed his entire Nike rollout that he was going to do, making a new brand titled after his son to put out the Nike thing. And then he put out that image of Drake in blackface. He destroyed Drake. And it's like, you have no idea who's going to take what like what. So Drake probably thought it was cool to say his wife's name in the song because it rhymed. And then Pusha T was like, oh, nah, you crossed the line. So now I'm going to expose that you have a kid with a porn star. And I'm going to just
But also, nobody is clean. Nobody on this planet is free of dirt. So, and whether your dirt is more or less than Drake, for example, somebody is like intellectually more apt and could probably turn your dirt and make it look like it's more than that.
Yeah.
So, nah.
And all it takes is the wrong person or the right person to push the right button to set you off. And sometimes you don't even know what that button is. So, like, my point to this, closing it, is that it may have been friendly between Cole and Drake. I mean, between Cole and Kendrick. I keep messing them up. But at the end of the day, them trading bars back and forth, trying to find an angle, something could have been said that really bothered one of them, that they felt insecure about within themselves. And this person said it out loud, said it to a beat, said it in a rhyme. And how they feel and respond to that, you never know. It's unpredictable. For all we know, Drake already said something that bothers Kendrick. And maybe that's part of the reason why he's like, you know what? I don't want to leave it up to misinterpretation, so I'm going to get ahead of it and apologize publicly. I'm going to be as loud with my apology as I was with the disrespect. What's curious now is, how is Kendrick going to respond to this? Is he going to still come at Cole? Is he going to leave it alone because his main target was Drake? Or is he going to take another shot, and is he going to be disappointed because maybe he was just seen as competitive sport? We don't know. But all I'm saying is that, look, guys, like, when you start realizing and start walking with God, you realize a lot of things of this world are evil and it's not meant for us. And the world wants to see blood. They want to pressure us. They want to be entertained. And you know what? At the end of the day, we're not here sacrificing ourselves for the appeasement of others.
And that speaks again to like this idea of eternity, and not to bring it all the way back to the Bible, but like think about it, right? You're out here like, oh, like revenge feels good and temptation and everyone wants this and it won't matter in 5 years. Yeah, because 5 years doesn't matter. Do you know how long eternity is? Imagine. And that's another thing. In Greek mythology, not to like don't go on a tangent, I
Going
swear.
Crazy places, y'all.
I know. My mind is like racing right now. In Greek mythology, Hades' job literally was to create a special suffering for each person that went to hell. And so everyone's was different. And he would do whatever like you had done on earth that was so bad, he would make you relive that for eternity. So it's not just, or in Greek mythology, I'm saying, not just like, oh, we're in lava and it's hot and maybe I'm getting whipped or maybe whatever you think the Bible says. What if it's literally like whatever you did, now you're paying for it? And we're talking eternity. So you're out here like, oh, I did that 5 years ago. Like it's healed. Nothing happens. Five years. Bro, you sold your soul for a little bit of attention and, you know, immediate like respect or rebuttal. But now eternity is waiting for you and you're not just not losing sleep. We're talking suffering like for eternity. That is not funny. And that's the hardest thing to explain to like even our generation, but especially the one after. The hardest thing to explain is like, you know, oh, it's not immediate. It's not going to happen right away. But one day you're going to feel better. One day this is going to heal. You know what I mean? Like even with injuries or whatever.
Oh, no, yeah.
Everyone
definitely.
wants it to be immediate. And it's really sad. And that's not how it is. But people are so impatient. It's crazy. But I just want to.
We get caught up in the moment, you know, and these trends, they come and go. Like it's fun for now to watch this, but in 2 weeks we're gonna move on with our lives until the next thing comes up, you know. So like really trying to see the long game.
Yeah, and even if you were like, oh, that was 5 years ago, I forgot I even did that. Well, the person that you attacked didn't forget.
Exactly, and at
so
the end
it's
of the
really
day,
like,
each
like,
of us is responsible for our own salvation.
And like you don't realize how powerful words are. In addition to like obviously like physical violence, but like words hold a lot of weight. So like even rap battles, like you said, like people, you could say one thing and trigger somebody and it wouldn't trigger anyone else. But and so that's why again I want to commend J. Cole for like, I mean, I guess I can't because he did throw the next stone, but like he took it back and he's like, no, I don't want to throw this stone actually. So like you can either double throw or we can just stop this right here. So that's huge.
No, definitely.
So that's why I wanted to say it again.
No, that's all good. Yeah, and it definitely, you know, like I said before, like on the main stage, on a level that big, like it's not like these are independent artists. So like if he pulled back, no one's really gonna know. It's like you have to really be in the know, like into the underground scene. But when you're like on that level of mainstream,
yeah, it's more commendable.
Yeah, it's more pressure. More people are watching you, and it's like it's easy to just give in and give the fans what they want. It's really difficult to like look at the world and then look at your spirit and look at God and be like, I'm going to turn my back on them and I'm going to do what I feel is right in my spirit.
Right.
You know, despite the backlash, despite all the people saying, I'm corny now, my career's changed forever. And it's like, whatever, God, I'm putting in your hands. I'm doing what I feel is the right thing to do. At the end of the day, I don't know how many of you could make that decision if you were faced with the same choice. A lot of you would probably fold.
Have you ever seen those rap battles that I think they're parodies, but like these people are like literally rap battling, but instead of like dissing, he's like heavy hitting compliments, but he's saying it as if it's a diss?
Those are hilarious.
That's what they should do, actually. That would be amazing. Like, you so handsome, like, oh, you know, like, just like hella angry, but like saying the nicest things. Like, that'd be awesome. That'd be so funny.
I wonder
and like, I feel like.
Go ahead.
I feel like the public would literally be like, what do we do? Like, what do we do with this?
They'll be lost,
like,
bro.
Should I like this or like, should I hate this? Like, what's going on? But it's like, that is still lyrical talent. And it's still, you know what I'm saying? Like top notch, like rapping and entertainment. So like, what would you do? Come on.
Yo, guys, I know you guys always joke with us saying that you guys want to see me and Alexia battle each other and blah blah blah. How would you guys feel if we did a compliment rap battle against one another? I think that'd be funny. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see that. But much respect to Cole once again, and who knows, maybe he might take that angle. I mean, this is the same dude that made the song "Let Nas Down," so who knows? Sky's the limit. We'll see what's gonna happen. Maybe you'll hear from us again as events unfold with this. But we're watching just as you guys. But I just wanted to touch on that just for the spiritual implications of it. Me as a Christian, not trying to force my religion down other people's throat, but I think it was something I didn't see anybody talking about. Like, it was kind of getting overlooked. So I just kind of wanted to bring that point up. Yeah.
Oh, I guess then it's good that like you're also educating me on it, because this definitely, I wouldn't have known any of this. You know me, I would have been like, huh?
Alexia's looking at the world with the trash bag over her head, y'all. So don't worry about her.
Given to me by the higher ups. So, like, be careful. You don't want to go blind. Put this over your eyes. Like, okay. Now I'm gonna get the science people in the comments like, you dumb bitch. That's actually really good because blah blah blah. And I'm gonna be like, yo, chill.
My bad. I didn't know. Sorry. But all right, guys, y'all let us know what you think in the comments below. We're gonna post this onto YouTube for those of you who want to see it over there or want to interact with us if you hear this on Spotify. But y'all let us know what y'all think. We're curious, and like I said, we'll see how this goes. But until then, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
Thanks again for listening. Don't forget to follow us on IG. My Instagram is at Lexia_Lou. And of course, my TikTok at Asexia. And you can find all of Chris's handles at thisisceo.com. And our YouTube is Behind the Struggle. If you aren't already subscribed, definitely do that so that we can keep in touch. But yes, thank you so much, guys.